Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 8:30, July 26th, 2020. A little delayed. I was going to come on at 8, but the computer decided to be very slow. So, anyway, a very warm night out there. We have a heat advisory in effect for much of the tri-state area. So, that'll be the first thing we'll talk about here is the heat. We're going to have this heat advisory from 10 a.m. Monday to 8 p.m. Tuesday. High temperatures and high humidity in effect for our area. I'm surprised New Jersey is not included in that. There'll probably be an excessive heat warning. And in Central Park, it's still 87 degrees. It's 89 at Farmingdale. But one thing I've noticed is that the dew points are lower. The dew point's 58, so it doesn't feel as humid. It's brutally hot out there, but the humidity is down. Something I've been feeling, that the humidity is lower, and that's helped to make things a little more comfortable. Let me see what's going on here. I'm having a very slow computer here. I don't know if this is slow internet. I don't know what it is, but it's going to make it difficult to get information. So we have this yellow here. I guess that's a 20. We still have these. Let's go to the surface observations in this area. Look at Texas first. It looks like the winds have come down a lot. If we overlay the radar, let me go to the radar here. You'll see that what's left of Hannah is now in over Mexico here. Why am I pulling this up? Because I want to look at the rainfall, see how much rain they've gotten in the area. I'll take the radar out, but let me look at the rainfall here, and then we gotta get back to our weather here. All right, so historical, and we're gonna look at the rainfall. Precipitation. Alright, and we've got to change that to the, I don't know why it always does like the past hour by default and not since midnight, which is what I want. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look at some of these readings. So here you go. Some of these readings here where the rain is really, look at over 5-6 inches of rain here. 7 inches, 7.28. Some of these areas in southern Texas here. 5.44. So these areas have gotten a lot of. In fact, I'll take this layer out, so because it's kind of making it hard to see the towns. 5.44 in Los Fresnos, San Benito. Mercedes 4.44, McAllen 7.28. So there's a lot of heavy rain in this area here that has occurred from Hannah. And I think that's going to really be the main thing. Is that, and now it's going to rain itself out over the mountains in this area. So that's kind of interesting. But let me go back to the regular observations here, and we'll go to our area now. So I wanted to look at the rainfall total. So a lot of rainfall, heavy rain there. We also should look at the power outage impact, I guess, too. Before I do that, let me do that as well. And somehow this isn't loaded. We're not seeing any surface observations here. Oh, because I'm seeing precipitation. Station plot. Okay, here we go. Before I do that, let me just go to Power Outage US here. And we'll gotta wait for this to load and see how Texas is doing there with power outages. Alright, like I said, very slow tonight. So temperatures across the island, we'll go, well, there. It says loaded yet? Still not yet. Temperatures across the island, we've got temperatures on the South Shore, it's upper 70s, but in the middle of the island, we're in the upper 80s. Out east, looks like they have some temperatures that are a little cooler. Let me throw in the dew point here, see. You can see here, because where the hotter areas, the dew points are lower, and where the cooler areas, the dew point is higher, which means you can see where the air that is coming in off the ocean, which the sea surface temperatures are near 80 degrees, so it's not really, it's actually going to actually make it more humid. And so you have low 80s, looks like low 80s, low to mid 80s across the east end. Let's see if this is loaded finally. Texas, 173,559. So it's down a little bit, but still, we'll just look at it's the southern Texas areas between the flooding and everything else going on down there. Yeah, it's really taking a while to load. The internet is extremely slow. I'm missing counties on here. Alright, I don't know, man. This site is not loading properly, so let me go back. Forget about that. I'd like to cover but getting information is going to be hard out of that. And like I said, I'm more focused on Long Island's weather. Um, if you want to hear the latest on Hannah, you can watch the Weather Channel or something. Sorry, I can't seem to get too much information. But let me focus on our weather here. It's hot out there, 88, and so the temperature is 88 in Carl Place. The dew point is 64. So the humidity is lower. Dew points have dropped, but we're very hot generally in the western part of Long Island. On the east end and south shore, it's cooler, but the humidity is higher with dew points in the mid-70s. So take your pick. The city, LaGuardia is still 91 with a dew point of 57. 87 in the park with a dew point of 59. JFK, 88 with a dew point of 59. West winds, and that's why it's going to be so hot the next couple of days. Not really going to be much of a sea breeze. Buoy 44065 is reporting a sea surface temperature. Oh, it's dropped to 76. That's interesting. Let's see the sea surface temperature here at Buoy 44025. Sea surface temperature 80 degrees. That's insane. New Jersey, it's actually cooler there, believe it or not. Toms River is 79 with a dew point of 71. And 81 at Miller Air Park with a dew point of 72. But along the coast, you have some really high dew point, 77. Again, that's what that warm water does to you. So now I'm going to shift this over to historical, and we'll look at the high temperature for today. See how hot it got everywhere. Waiting for it to load again. All right, 90s pretty much for everybody except the South Shore and the East End. Pretty much everybody got above 90. Low 90s, basically the rule, but there were some mid 90s. Looks like in Central Nassau, Carl Place got up to 95. 95 at the LaGuardia, 93 at JFK, 93 at Farmingdale. Islip hit 90. 91 in Central Park. And if we go looking at New Jersey, 95, looks like 95 in Miller Air Park at Toms River. So not much of a difference, really, except right at the immediate beach. That's the only relief you're going to get with these westerly winds. So now let's talk about the tropics. So this is Tropical Depression Hannah. I'm not even going to read it because it's pretty much just a tropical depression now. This is the next disturbance we got to watch in the Atlantic here. 80% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, this disturbance here. And then there's Hurricane Douglas. So this is the next hurricane that we have to watch to make a landfall. Why hasn't this moved? I thought I clicked Eastern Pacific. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Oh, it's Central Pacific. So here's Douglas, and it's already north of Hawaii here. So it's a Category 1 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds 85 miles an hour. So let's get the information on this here. We'll look at the latest public advisory for Hurricane Douglas. Now, this is in the Pacific, but it is affecting the state of Hawaii. So, dangerous Hurricane Douglas passing north of Maui. So, its location is 21.6 north, 156.4 west, about 50 miles north of Kalahui, Hawaii, about 100 miles east of Honolulu, Hawaii. Maximum sustained winds are 85 miles an hour. It's moved in this west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. And the minimum central pressure is 989 millibars, or 29.21 inches. Tropical storm warning has been canceled for the Big Island. That is Hawaii County. I believe that's the Big Island. But a hurricane warning is in effect for Maui County. So that's the island of Maui. And Kauai, the island of Kauai. And a tropical storm warning is in effect for portions of, I can't even pronounce that. So let's just look at the map here so you can get an idea of where it is. So let's get our warning cone map here so you can get an idea of where this is. So here, so it's brushing this island. I guess it's Maui, and it's going to be hitting. The impact is going to be more direct to Honolulu, and that's a concern here with Hurricane Douglas. So, like I said, we have our playful tropical stuff. Let's go to current storms and tropical tidbits and look at the latest here. This is what's left of Hannah. I'm not even going to bother with that. At this point, it's like I said, it's caused a lot of damage in Texas, flooding, a lot of issues there, mainly flooding, I think, with all that rain. So here is Hurricane Douglas. let's take a look at this. Wait for it to load, of course. Should have done this before. We're gonna have to be patient here. I don't know, we're getting very slow internet. So, see, it missed the Big Island, but see, it's hitting Maui. I believe this is Honolulu Island right here. So it looks like, still looks like the worst of it is gonna move just north of these islands, just north. But still, a healthy storm. Considering they usually weaken somewhat, this storm has still got plenty of life in it. You can see all the convection going on around it. Still, Douglas is still a healthy Category 1 hurricane as it continues to brush the islands of Hawaii there. But they're still getting lashed pretty decently by this thing. So actually, I should probably go back to the power outage map and see how many power outages are in Hawaii. So we're gonna have to wait. This site is acting up. A lot of sites seem to be very slow right now. This has it as a hurricane, and then they have it weaken to a tropical storm and a depression as it moves further east. But man, this thing has definitely held its own. Let's see. Loading. Let's see. Hawaii's not even on here. Only 13 people out of power in Hawaii right now. So Hawaii, I think, is getting off easy, I think. Or maybe the impacts are just at the coast from Douglas, perhaps. But here you go. Here's Douglas there. So definitely a healthy hurricane still, but it looks like the worst part of it is avoiding Hawaii. A close call for sure for Hawaii. And then we have Invest 92L. This is the next one that we've got to worry about here. And this is the one that I want to spend more time on. Because this is the one that's going to threaten our area here. Perhaps, the East Coast. We're going to have to watch. You can see it still looks kind of disorganized here. It doesn't look very organized. But it will eventually get more organized. If we look at the models here, this is these are the models, and you can see, look at that. They're all taking it toward the East Coast, which is kind of definitely worrisome. That's for sure. This is the GFS ensembles, but fortunately they all seem to recurve it. But a few take it up the East Coast, just a few. But again, this is a ways out. Things can change. Let's look at the intensity guidance on this. So some of these get it up to near a Category 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes higher than that, because we've seen what's happened this year because of the warm water. So this is the one that I'm concerned about, obviously. Is 92L, which will be the next storm. I think somebody said Isaiah. Is that Isaiah? That would be the next storm that we would have to watch out for here. So let's go take a look at the models here and see what it does. We'll actually make this a wider view. Go to that North American view again so you can see what happens with this tropical system here, and we'll start with the GFS here. So let's start with the upper air here. So you see we got the ridge over us. You see that ridge. Here comes the trough that's going to come in. Here's the next storm there. Here comes the trough coming through Wednesday, Thursday to bring us some relief, hopefully. And GFS is actually weak now with it. So that's some good sign that at least the intensity is very. I can't even find it on here, which is good news. But you can see, unfortunately, the ridge kind of tries to build back in the east. Not quite to the extent that it was, but this is what it looks like on the GFS on the upper air. So let me look at the European model. Euro still brings that trough, and you can see that, and there's kind of just, I don't even see it on here. So that's a good sign. For some reason, I think it's generating more shear because of that trough coming through. So with a weakened ridge in that area, it would definitely cause the storm to be weaker. So let me go back to the GFS here, and we'll look at the surface. So you can see there's that ridge west. You see the isobars. We got that westerly flow, so we're going to roast. There's the ridge right there. Then you can see that trough come through. We get some relief, and here's the tropical system. Yeah, it kind of has it stronger and then kind of weakens it a little bit. And threatens the East Coast, but it kind of just, it looks like it's getting sheared by that trough. And maybe we'll get some rain from it the first week of August, but and then the ridge comes back, and then we could be playing with some stalled fronts. But like I said, this is a ways out, so this is all guessing. But this is something that we have to watch because in some form it is going to come close to us, whether it hits the East Coast or not. It's way too early to see. It's way too early to say. So let's look at the temperatures in our area. We're going to look at things heating up here across our area for the next couple of days. Like I said, we are in a heat wave, and we hit 90 today, so tomorrow will be day 2 of the heat wave. We'll be well into the 90s, no sea breeze, mid to upper 90s, maybe 100 in some spots. Same thing for Tuesday, but you can see here comes that front approaching, and that'll be our next chance for thunderstorms. And then for Wednesday, we see it doesn't really look a whole lot better for Wednesday. We're still around 90 degrees, maybe above 90 in western parts of Long Island and parts of New Jersey and New York City. It is Thursday that we see the temperature drop a little more, and then we could maybe enjoy some mid-80s maybe. And then still cooler on Friday. That looks like a stalled front there. And then, boom, Saturday we're back above 90 again. And Sunday, yeah, it's just, yeah. There's just no real substantial push. No substantial push. So let's look at the dew points here. Look at some of the other models too. So, but we have the dew points here because you can see that dry air that did work in. We have that westerly flow again tomorrow, and I think that will also keep the dew points probably. The dew points probably will not reach 70 for the western parts of Long Island and New Jersey. Similar to today, I think, with the westerly flow, but higher dew points on the South Shore and the East End. It's Tuesday, though, that the humidity is going to come up for, I think, for everybody. That's going to be the most uncomfortable day because it's going to be hot and humid, so it's going to feel the worst. Humidity will be the highest, and so will the heat ahead of that cold front. And then, yeah, the dry air tries to get in on Wednesday. You can see this looks like a stall front again. So parts of our area have lower dew points, some parts don't. And we really, it looks like Thursday, maybe we can get a little more of that dry air in with the dew points dropping to the 50s. Maybe, which would feel nice. And then the humidity starts returning again by the weekend in some form, but not quite as bad as it was. But as we head into next week, that's when we see that real surge of tropical air coming back up again into the picture next week. Let me look at the dew points on the NAM. So here's the NAM dew points. And you can see again that there's like a little bit of drier air that comes in, just a little bit. Dew points in the 60s, not great, but it definitely was less humid. Here you can see that drier air push that cold front coming in Tuesday night and a Wednesday, and it tries to get in, but you can see, looks like it just gets hung up to the south, but maybe it'll be enough to get some drier air. And the AM seems to think that we'll see the dew points drop into the 50s everywhere, so that would be really, really nice. But of course, it will come with the severe weather threat, so I guess that's... let me look at the temperatures on the NAM, and then we'll go ahead and look at some of the others. And this is the 18Z, by the way. So you can see well into the 90s tomorrow. Same thing for Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it's a lot cooler. It doesn't have us hitting 90, except maybe Jersey. Okay, so let me go and look at the precipitation threat. Of course, it's going to be hard to tell what's going to happen all the way on Tuesday. But that would be our next chance for thunderstorms. Yeah, not really that impressive on this at all. This is the 12-kilometer NAM. Perhaps we will go and we will look at the 3-kilometer NAM. It's not really generating a whole lot. But the NAM kind of underdid the thunderstorms the last time, so I'm thinking maybe we'll see more develop. The HRRR, I don't think the HRRR goes that far out, but we'll shift over to the cloud cover now, and we'll see what happens with the cloud cover. Here's tomorrow. So tomorrow actually might have a decent amount of sun and not that many clouds around. And Tuesday, we'll see the clouds increase with that front coming through, and that's as far out as I get on the NAM. We can look at the GFS. So here's the front showing up on the GFS, and we try to get it offshore Wednesday. Maybe we'll have some clear skies by the afternoon. Thursday it might be more comfortable. It looks like it's putting more high clouds over us. And then maybe Saturday might be sunny, but again, not that comfortable. Best days look like Wednesday and Thursday right now. As far as skies and somewhat bearable temperatures, it won't be great. But yeah, let me look at the HRRR. And see, the 0Z would take us out 36 hours, but I don't have that in, so let me go to the 18Z. I don't think it's going to go far enough out to Tuesday, though. It's not going to go out to Tuesday. I can't look at that one yet. So, like I said, we'll have a better idea of the weather, the severe weather threat on tomorrow, I think, when we do the weather update. I'll look at the SPC before I wrap up this weather update here. Okay, let's see. The SPC day 2. Well, actually, it would be day 3. Day 3. And yeah, they have us in a marginal, so this would be day 3. This would be Tuesday, so they have us in a marginal. We'll have to just keep an eye on the severe weather threat for Tuesday and see what happens. The last thing we'll do, I'll just take this out so you can see GFS and just look at the jet stream and what a mess it is. Take this out. I gotta take this out to North America here. Jet stream. So 250. Okay. So you can see just what a mess it is. So you can see that trough trying to come through here. So bring us some relief. But the jet stream's just a disorganized mess at this point. And this is what happens due to climate change. You see that disorganization. That, like I said, that I'm really worried that this is the year we're going to see a substantial hurricane hit. Yeah, I'm having issues here with it loading. It's being slow, but clearly see, look at that jet stream. It's way up in Canada, and it's all wavy. This is, like I said, this is not normal, and this is the problem. Without a jet stream to really move things along, especially if something gets going here, that's my concern, is that the East Coast is going to be under threat. I think we have a decent chance of seeing that, so those people along the South Shore need to pay attention to the threat. No one is invincible to that. I mean, this jet stream is a mess. And I want to just see if we have a new update with the state of the ice situation, and then I'm going to wrap this up here. So let me just find that here. And wrap this up. See if there's anything new here, if they have a new update. No, they don't have the... Alright, well, you have an update as if... Oh, this is not good. So this is the 25th of July, 2020. Lots of thin ice. All the stuff that you see is bluish is going to be gone. And very little... We are going to come very close to a blue ocean event this year. And this is a big concern of mine. I think we're on tap for one of the highest Julys on record in the United States, let alone our area, and maybe even the whole planet. And this is a concern here. Climate change is a major threat to us. While the media is just focused on the virus, this has the potential to cause a lot of devastation. And no one is safe from it. No one. Especially the people on the South Shore. They're the most vulnerable. And I really wish they would realize that, because this is not a good situation, seeing the ice this low. We may have a blue ocean event this year. We're going to come very close. We still have a long ways to go before we hit that minimum. I think it's somewhere in late September or early October. We're on a wing and a prayer at this point. Anyway, that is going to be it for this weather update. Take care.